What is up, everybody? Chlorine King here. Thanks for tuning in for another video. In this video, I'm out here on a warranty call for the Jandy Aquapure, and I'm going to show you what the codes are and what they mean and how to fix it. So stay tuned and let's go ahead and get started. So you can see we got the full Jandy Aqualink automation system here, and where you need to pay attention is right here. It's going to give the error codes here in a second, and it's going to tell you exactly what the issue is. So there you go, you got code 172 and 180. So those two have to do with the tri-flow sensor, and I'm going to go ahead and explain what that is and what those codes mean in particular. Okay, so here we are at the Jandy Aquapure PLC 1400 salt cell. You can see that you have the power plug here. The tri-sensor, which has to do those two error codes, which I'll explain here shortly, is right here. You can sort of tell by this phone jack looking cable. So that is where the sensor is. So the 172 error code is more of a general error code that either could be things like calcium buildup, debris on the sensor, calcium buildup on the sensor as well. The cell could be dirty, so I'm gonna check that for calcification, but also it could be a sensor fault. So those are sort of the main things it could be, but that 180 error code is a sensor fault. So, and the 180 generally has to deal with the heating elements of the tri-sensor. So we know that needs to be replaced for certain, but just for good measure, I'm gonna go ahead and take the cell out, check it for calcium, and if need be, get that cleaned up as well, in addition to replacing that sensor. So I'm gonna show you that. There's a lot of zip ties everywhere, so it's gonna be a lot of cutting and redoing zip ties all over the panel over there. And keep in mind, I'm just doing this with one hand on my phone, so I'm gonna be doing a lot of stuff off camera, but I will explain it as I record and go along. So stay tuned and let's get the ball rolling. All right, so the first thing we're gonna go ahead and do is put this in a service mode or shut the system off. And then what we're gonna do off camera is cut all these zip ties going from this part here all the way out to the cell, which is over there. And then of course I'm going to open up the panel for you guys and show you how this plugs in and all that fun stuff. So we're going to get started with that. Alright guys, so as you can see, I got all the zip ties undone or cut off. Check out how many zip ties there were. There's probably 492,000 in there, give or take. I'm going to make it all look pretty, but maybe not use that amount of zip ties. But nonetheless, here's the cell. You can see, it might be hard to see on camera, but that cell is clean. There's no calcium buildup anywhere on this thing. So it's not from a dirty cell, which could again cause that 172 error. And then looking at the sensor itself, now obviously it was just sitting in dirt, but you can tell that it's nice and clean. There's no corrosion, there's no calcium buildup or anything like that. So at the end of the day, it's just a faulty sensor. So we're gonna get this replaced. And then what I want to show you was on the automation side where it goes. So very important. Goes with all the other low voltage stuff in the low voltage raceway. We do not mix it with high voltage. So low voltage raceway. And here, back here on the PureLink board, it is right here. That is where the sensor plugs into the board. And so I'm going to go ahead and get all this replaced and show you it's functioning before I close everything up. So I have the new sensor here. It's very important when you are installing this new sensor that you do take the time, it's the only way to do it, is feed the cabling and everything through this union here, because this union is what holds the sensor in place of the cell. And you want to feed all of it, including the plug for the automation, which is right there, and this control box. All this fits through the union. You want to feed that through to where the cable for the sensor is up top here. So when you go to secure the union, it is not in the way. And then of course get that O-ring in there as well, just like that. So wanted to point that out. Another thing to pay attention to is notice there's a couple notches here. This singular notch fits in this little cutout in the cell body, so it's orientated properly. So you can't get it in any other way. So just make sure that you take this notch and align it there before you screw the union on. Alright guys, you can see the sol's been reinstalled, system's running, no leaks whatsoever here. I got the new tri-sensor installed. It's always important to make sure you have the flow going the right way. Flow is going this way out to the pool. You can see I zip tied everything, made it look pretty. Oh, and check this out. I used a total of 8 zip ties, which is 492,000, so that's good. The only thing I haven't done yet is the low voltage raceway. I want to make sure everything's working first. And the new sensor for the PureLink board is plugged in right there. Now, if we go over here, you can see we have the cell on light, we have the flow light, we have the chlorine production on, and there's no error codes. So this thing is working exactly the way it should be. So go ahead and button this up. I'm gonna make the raceway super nice and zip tied and get this thing buttoned back up, but job is done. The new tri-sensor is in and the salt system's back up and running. So there you go. That is how you replace the Jandy Aquapure Tri-Flow sensor to alleviate those error codes 172 and 180. I hope this video helped. Stay tuned for more videos. Like and subscribe. And if you guys are interested in any coaching or anything like that, check out my Patreon link below. Appreciate all my supporters out there. And as always, take care, have a great day, and we'll see you next video.